Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. And in today's video, I really, so I know we're knee deep now in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fusion event with Donatello. This kind of sprung out on us a little bit that it was starting right on Thursday, right? We're already in the middle of a couple of the events, but I really want to talk about the kits of the four turtles in general, because they are absolutely cracked. They are like, this is the definition of power creep, and why I think that people should be holding their resources for all of the variety of events that's coming this way for the game. It is absolutely crazy. So I want to talk about all that and more in today's video. But before we get started, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid Shadow Legends yet, what are you waiting for? Download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen or in the link in the description down below. Also, don't forget that you can get some 3 amazing epics alongside him, alongside Karato Fox Hunter. You can get yourself Ugo, Lady Annabelle, and Thane at account levels 10, 20, and 30. So there you go. And also don't forget to plug in the promo code Demon Slayer within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. You can get Tholan Foulbeard of the Dwarf faction absolutely free until the end of August. Now, before we get started with talking about the characters, I do actually just want to talk about where we're going to be getting them all, because we do actually know where some of the releases are going to be. This was, I believe, in Google Play. I believe there was an update message here when you update your game, and they talked about all the ways that you can get the characters. Now, right now, we have the Michelangelo chase going on right now in the game. You can find that in here. That if you were to go over here, right, the Michelangelo chase is available up here. You should be starting to collect this right now. But there is a few other, obviously we have the Donatello fragment event, which is surprising because we just had a fragment event with the dog, right? And then they've already mentioned where we're going to get Leonardo, Raphael, and also April O'Neil. So we have the Swordmaster Path event. Right now, if you guys remember from the Packmaster event, and also the Packmaster and Throat Ripper, plus the Balar Path event, which happened before that, they had the left and right sides, and you needed like anywhere from 15 to 20 sacred shards for each of the sides. Now, this is where I would expect that there's going to be a guaranteed unlock for Leonardo, but also his 5 red star Perfect Soul on the right hand side. So you're going to be looking at like another 35 sacred shards to get both of those. And I heard that Leonardo is absolutely insane from early playtesting on the test server that I've seen some other content creators do. So this is an absolute must-have event. Now, I know this is like over a month away, but depending on how fast you accumulate your shards, right? Sacred shards it's event fuel, right? So you need to make sure that you have enough to get these characters, because all 4 of these are insane. And then finally, right after that, we do have October 13th to 16th for the Raphael Decks of Fates. Now, typically, the Deck of Fates involves souls. So immortal souls, eternal souls, this kind of thing. I think maybe sometimes they've had shards, but typically it's not. I think it's like artifacts and souls. So that might be something that you want to save as well. Now, this is like a month and a half away, but to make sure that you get all these things, it never hurts to start early. And then finally, there's going to be an Ace Reporter Titan event for April O'Neil, which is going to be October 6th through the 23rd. So while these other ones are running as well, in order to get her unlocked, and probably some other things in there and some relics and whatnot. So really interesting news when it comes to that. But let's take a look, though, at the characters themselves. Oops, there we go. Sorry, my bad. The actual characters are really insane. Like, I want to take a look at their kits again, just to show you how wild this is. Now, they may very well be a really good, like, a synergistic. Is that a word, synergist? They have a lot of synergy with each other. I mean, that part is absolutely insane. But let's start with the first one. So that's Michelangelo, right? Here in the Banner Lords, the ones we'll be getting in about 5 days now, 6 days. So I want to start with the passive, right? This is pretty good. So he has a 15% chance to evade an enemy's skill and all the effects. And if he's under taunt, which he does himself, it goes up to 30%. But it's really this part that all of the other turtles have as well. So whenever Leo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael attack, this champion joins in that attack. So they're all basically assisting every single time they attack. It is absolutely wild. Also, places a shield buff equal to 300% of his attack whenever they receive a hit, and this resets every turn. So pretty crazy as well. He has an AoE on his A3 here that applies the taunt to himself as well. Also does AoE attack down and leech for 2 turns and ignores 25%. So you want him to have 100% crit rate so that he's ignoring the resistance for that. So his accuracy doesn't need to be as high when you're doing this. His A2 also has a similar thing with the if you crit with the resistance ignoring. It does place a decreased defense debuff, and then it also has a chance to stun, but it also applies debuff spread, and this is really, really critical. This is going to be amazing for content like Hydra, where you're having to spread this over lots of characters. So really, really good there. And he can also get an increased attack buff on himself again when he crits. So a strong attacker here. He's only one of 2 attackers. We're going to jump over to the other attacker first, which is going to be Raphael of the Barbarians faction. I just kept forgetting which factions they were now. So he is over here, and he is another attacker champion here. And then again, has the exact same passive, the text, whenever they attack, this champion will join in. So this makes it sound like if you have all 4 of them, basically when your character attacks, all 3 of the other turtles are going to be assisting. It's going to be like an absolute bonkers show. And it also triggers their A1 and stuff as well, right? So just like a bonkers amount of damage that's going to be going out. Places a berserk debuff on this champion for 1 turn whenever any champion dies. Now he has this berserk mechanic, so his damage is going way up, and this also stacks with attack up and things like that. But he does take increased damage, so do keep that in mind. It's 50% increased damage, 50% he takes more damage as well. There's a 20% chance of granting an extra turn when attacking under a berserk debuff placed by himself. Now his A3 also is a 3-hit attack. Each hit ignores defense 20%, and then he places a perfect veil and an unkillable buff after, if the target is killed, if the target survives, which is likely if you're fighting bosses. He's going to get a berserk debuff for 2 turns instead. Debuff cannot be resisted, so that's important to note. And then he has an AoE attack on his A2, Seismic Slam, ignores shields and block damage buffs if attacking under a berserk debuff, which he is going to, because you're probably going to start here, go into the A2. And then each critical hit fills his champion turn meter by 10%. So again, against Hydra, if you're critting four heads, that's 40% turn meter, which is quite substantial. And his A1, this could be neat and niche on Ice Golem. Places a block or revive debuff if you kill the minions. So that could be nice. And then again, each crit, so he's getting a lot of turn meter, 20% from this, for potentially 10% times how many targets on this one. So a bit of a turn bar beast. I want to talk about Donatello because he's absolutely insane as well. And Bloodbound. No, he's actually of the Lizardmen. Sorry, my bad. I forget which factions these guys are in. Donatello, absolutely insane as well. So his support abilities, again, still has the same stuff there, but he basically has a death prevention active. This is kind of like Godseeker and Neri, right? And so prevents the death, equalizes that ally's HP, though. The HP level of that ally will be brought to the average HP level of the team. So it's not like a near-death kind of save. It's going to actually heal him up as well. This is on a cooldown of 4, though, when you have the books in there. Now, he's got pretty good debuffs. He's an AoE cleanser on a cooldown of 3 if you put the books in there. So that's a pretty good cooldown for that. Also continuous heal and strengthen buff for 2 turns as well, and 20% turn meter. So really, really good for 3 turns. And then his other skill, which is his speed up skill as well, but it's an AoE damage skill too, and also decreases the cooldown of all ally skills by 2. It is crazy. I'm thinking of like using this with in Hydra with Newt, because I do have a Newt, and then have like the 4 turtles and Newt and someone else, and just absolutely crazy. This is also on a cooldown of 4, so it's not that bad. So it's lowering everyone's by 2, like every 4 turns. It's pretty good. Also, his A1 does heal all allies, so that's not a lot. 5% actually goes up to 15%, so that's not too bad on an A1. Instantly activates a continuous heal buff on all allies as well, which you're going to get from the A3 if it's still ticking around because of 2 turns. So really, really great support champion. Lots of good things going on with this team. And then finally, I have to end with Leonardo. We'll talk a little bit about April O'Neil as well, but I'm not really a big fan of her. Apparently, she's going to be available this weekend through the Champion Chase as a progressive. Let's go to Shadowkin and talk about Leonardo, because this is where I saw some absolute bonkers stuff on another content creator's video. in the test server was that apparently his damage is just through the roof. He has like this unity thing as well. So his passive places a stone skin buff on himself for 1 turn each time he drops below 50%. Now it occurs once per skill. So this can keep happening. If he goes above 50% and under 50%, it can only happen once per skill, but you can have this happen like quite frequently. So this is pretty nice. And of course, he's got the same text as everyone else about the assist. Now his A3 on a cooldown of 3, if you have the scrolls in him, it is absolutely wild. AoE, damage inflicted by a seal increases by 5% for each buff on all allies and enemies, okay? Removes all buffs from all enemies if this attack kills an enemy. This probably won't happen on like Hydra or anything, but it's still nice anyways. And it has a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles unity, so the more you have. With one ally, ignores 15% defense per per turtle ally, right? So if you have all of them, then that's a 45% ignore defense. That is cracked. Absolutely bonkers damage. And then 2, increase the damage dealt by the skill in proportion to his missing HP. So the lower he is, he's going to do more damage on that. And then 3, this skill activates anytime an ally's HP drops below 50%. Now, if you're running this in a Hydra comp where there's 6 people, this will be any of the other non-turtles as well. This is crazy. Now, this could happen quite frequently, and the amount of damage that I expect Leonardo to put out will be pretty crazy. And that's just his A3. He has some amazing defensive buffs, so increased defense and ally protection on all allies for 2 turns, unkillable and counterattack on himself, so that's really nice too. And then in conjunction with Donatello lowering cooldowns, this stuff's going to be up like all the time. And then his A1 attacks twice. And then when he counterattacks, he's going to repeat this attack again. So it's, I guess you're hitting like 4 times. So it sounds like. We'll ignore 3% defense per buff on Leonardo. And he's getting like 4 right here, right? So that's an extra 12%, not counting any other buffs that might be on him. So the combination is going to be absolutely wild. And all the reason why I want to make sure I get all 4 of them. And because of that, I think that people should do as best as they can to save up all of their shards for the important events. Now, the schedule right now, I believe, is out. If it's not up on here, I will bring it into the game. Do they have? Oh, they're right here. Sorry, the details of the. Let's open up. Swap over here. There we go. The fragment event calendar. So this is available online as well. There's basically a total of 110 fragments. There are plus 10 on Champion Chase Tournament and the Champion Training Tournament, but those are only if you rank really well. Otherwise, we basically have Ice Golem Tournament, which is ongoing right now, Champion Chase, which is starting essentially today, and then Classic Arena is going to be on Saturday, Dragon over the weekend as well. We have Dungeon Divers. Some of these you can see in game right now. Dungeon Divers and Gear Enhancement, I believe, are also available in game, and the Champion Training is going to be starting today as well. So there's lots of events going on. We have one Champion Chase. We have one Summon Rush, which you can find down here, and those are the main summoning related ones. Now, I am going to be using my mystery shards to finish this Summon Rush down here next week because I want to save all of my other shards as much as I can for the actual guaranteed events for the turtles. I just can't accept anything else. The rest of this all comes down to spending your energy, right? The dungeon tournaments, and the dungeon divers and things like that. This is on Champion Training. This is all related to like a mixture of energy and whatnot. So that's something that you can do. Now, I'm going to be saving my shards, like I said. So I have a lot of, oh, sorry. Back to my scene there. I do have 170 ancient shards, 21 void shards, 15 primal shards, and 33, if I can scroll down further, 33 sacred shards. So I do have a lot, but I'm going to keep saving. I'm going to wait until the events, right? We have Michelangelo right now. We have Donatello right now as well. But then those other events aren't coming around until October. And that does give us the month of September, which is weird because I'm not sure what's going on in the month of September. But it does give us time to kind of hoard and save some of these more important shards to make sure that we can pass these path events, Leonardo the Path event and the Raphael Deck of Fates event. And I do want to talk very briefly about April because she is going to be first available this weekend through a Sacred Shard 10x progressive chance for the Champion Chase. She's not someone that I'm really going to be going for. She's definitely an arena champion, but just doesn't impress me that much as far as what she can do. Now, we'll start with her. There's a lot here. Honestly, there's a lot of text here. And if you are someone who's really trying to push hard in arena, I imagine she is really, really good. She puts this buff up here, increased accuracy buff on all allies, and it grants an extra turn, so this is free. Decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 20%. She has this nullify and seal debuff on a single target. Now, seal, it kind of blocks the effects of set bonuses, and nullify just basically does a whole, I think that's new, and it has a whole lot of stuff on here. Champions under nullify cannot have their skills activated, participate in ally attacks, be granted an extra turn or an instant turn. So there's a lot of stuff here. So much so that it's a bit confusing for me. You have to really understand that. It's single target though, and so I don't think that she has a lot of PvE value, but that's just me, right? I guess you could place nullify on a boss. Maybe you could apply it on Amius, but other than that, her A1 does a lot of control debuffs, but it's only a 75% chance with the there's a lot there, right? It is, I think it's random, right? It's not or it says or all this. It's not and, so it's not a 50% chance to roll on all these. I think it just has a 50% chance of just applying one of them. So it's a lot of RNG on that. Not personally a big fan, but hey, if you want to go and blow your shards on the progressive chance, 10x is not very good, by the way, for sacred shards. There's a lot of characters in the sacred shard pool, so that's going to be happening this weekend, but I'm going to be taking it a little bit of a miss. Otherwise, I'm just going to be working away on the fusion events this weekend, and we'll probably have more to talk about with these events and characters in the days and weeks ahead. But the turtles look absolutely insane. So much so that I am going to be keeping all of my resources, making sure I do the fusion event, and just waiting, I guess, making sure that I have enough, that I'm comfortable with the amount of sacred shards that I'm going to be holding for the Leonardo and the Raphael event, although that might end up being souls, so that might be something that you'll want to start saving up as well. Any immortal soul stones, all of this and more, maybe eternals if you have any. That's going to be something that you might need for Raphael as well. So let me know what your thoughts are about these guys. They're absolutely crazy. But yeah, that's it for now. But before we go, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid Shadow Legends yet, what are you waiting for? Download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen or in the link in the description to get Karato, Fox Hunter, Legendary of the Shadowkin for free. Of course, not as good as, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but there you go. And Ugo, Lady Annabelle, and Fane at account level 10, 20, 30. 3 amazing epics to start yourself off. And then also Dolan Foulbeard of the Dwarf faction, absolutely free using the promo code Demon Slayer within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. That's it for now, everyone, and I'll see you guys all on the next video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.